Good morning. I have cat hair all over my microphone. I'm going to start the day today talking about the piano. The piano is an instrument, what it is to connect with an instrument like that, um, no matter what level of playing. I guess I would call an advanced intermediate. And I spend a lot of time playing piano, and the instrument has always been important to me. So we have two pianos in this. We have this one, which is a Samick upright, and this is in my studio. So I use this. I use it for writing, and I use it. I don't keep it tuned, but I do. I do use this one. But we have a beautiful Steinway downstairs, and it's new this year. New to us. It's a restored piano from 1924. It's a big deal to have this instrument. And I just finished reading this book by Perry Knies, who is a journalist. And this book is the story of her piano. And the book made me think about why it's important. It used to be everybody had pianos, right? And it didn't matter if you weren't Horowitz. Playing the piano activated vibrations in the house. And that sounds kind of, it is a spiritual statement, but it's also just a true statement, right? The piano is a bunch of strings, you hit them with a hammer and they vibrate. The air is vibrating. And we are sensitive to those kinds of things. So when everybody when everybody had an upright and sat down and played Tin Pan Alley songs or Brahms intermezzo or chamber music, it was different. So when I play the piano, and I'm a what would you call it, advanced intermediate. I can play some Schumann. I play Bach all the time. A couple of Beethoven sonatas I can play. I work through Messiaen, and I play them with character. That's how I would put it, right? It's not as if you were hearing Horowitz or Ellen Cormot. Who am I listening to right now? Vikingur Olafsson. It's different. There's an intersection between the music and my capability. And I think a lot about this because that intersection is important. It's valuable. When I play a piece, I don't play it as fast as someone whose life is to play the piano. But I don't think that means that I'm playing it poorly or wrong. I'm playing it in a way that allows me to express something, and it's that expression that's important, right? It's that ability to bring out something. And I do think we play music, we meaning sort of the recorded musical tradition, right? We play things too fast. We play Bach too fast. Anyway, we play too fast. And I need to play things slower anyway so that I can do things. I don't have the technique to do what I want to do at the kind of tempo that other people can. So that's an important compromise or negotiation. There's a point where it's too slow and you lose the character of the music. But that spot where I can play what I want to be able to play, and the music then is served by that. And then the instrument is part of that. So in this book, Perry decides to play piano again, and I think she is maybe in her 40s when she wrote this book, and had been an accomplished musician as a child, right? But then didn't pursue it. After high school, when she was a teenager, she stopped playing the music. So now in her 40s, she's looking for an instrument, and it starts with just looking for something like this, right? Something like you could probably get one of these for people be giving it away. And over the course of a few months, she realized she's very finely attuned to the voicing of an instrument. That like her ability to distinguish the fine characteristics of an instrument is pretty pronounced, and we all have it to a certain extent. I don't have a great perception of the nuances of voicing, and by voicing I mean the tone of the instrument. Right, every instrument has a unique set of ranges based on the wood and the shape, and even within the same manufacturer there are thresholds that vary fractionally, and that will impact the voicing of the instrument. I have some sense of it, but I have terrible ears. I'm deaf in this ear, and I have damaged frequencies in this ear. Not from a life of rock and roll and loud music, but because of surgery that I've had. But I have I consider a very finely tuned sense, and I've always felt this. The touch of the instrument and the action of the instrument has always been really important to me. To the extent that even when I was a student and really playing a lot, my sense of how well I was playing really based on how it felt rather than how it sounded. But for Perry, it's the voicing, and she finds, getting a bit further into her decision, she finds an instrument that's an investment, like my Steinway was an investment. But she decides to do it because in the showroom she hears a sound that totally captivates her. Right, the first part of the book is describing how she falls in love with the sound of this one instrument. And I get that. So then the piano is shipped and she gets it and it's in her house. It doesn't sound the same. So what does she do? She gets different technicians in. She learns how pianos are made. So over the course of 3 years over this book, agonizing, trying to get the piano to sound the way that it did in the showroom, and learning that will never happen. The piano's changed. My piano is changing because it had brand new strings and brand new action. The casing, the soundboard, the frame, all original, but the action, the felt, the strings, all new. For what it's worth, from the Hamburg factory from Steinway, because my the woman who restored it, Amy Marshall, there's a factory in New York and there's a factory in Hamburg. She prefers the one from Hamburg. There's a difference. I outsourced all those decisions to her, trusted her entirely, and I'll start playing that piano more on these videos because it's a wonderful instrument. Anyway, the outcome of the book is that she realizes that what she's responding to is, it's the voicing, meaning the actual mechanics of the hammer hitting the string, but it's also the tuning. And that the technician who had prepared the piano for the showroom had used a very specific tuning. And with that tuning in place, there's a happy resolution to the book. The piano sounds not how it did in the showroom, but beautiful and enjoyable to play. So we should all have pianos in our life. What do I mean by that? I don't know that we all need to play the piano, but I do think if you do play the piano, um, the your your technical capability is not as important as the inner connection that happens with the instrument. Yeah. Um, like Perry uh, is not an advanced player. When she plays, she's playing some Bach preludes, Chopin nocturnes, stuff that's um, readily accessible with a bit of practice to many of us, right? But that connection, now that you have to be open to that connection, and um, the instrument is a vibratory nodule. You know, when I play piano, I have a terrible habit, but one that I refuse to let go of, where my knee pushes up against the bottom here. So I'm playing in, and my knee here, right? That connection. And then the sound comes out. It's like a didgeridoo when you breathe, blow into a didgeridoo. All that matters is that vibratory frequency. And everyone needs that you need that in your life. And it is different than listening. Of course, listen to recorded music all the time. And recorded music is vibration. Behind me, over there, is a rack of synthesizers. I love the electronic manipulation of frequency, the electronic manipulation of air impacting my body is liturgical. But there's something different about having a physical vibration in front of you. I think that's why we have singing bowls in our meditation areas. Find a physical source of vibration and something that you can play, and set aside any notion of skill. It's wonderful to be skillful. I practice because I want to be skillful. But the key is that vibration. Get a drum. Hit on the drum. Get a singing bowl. Get a recorder. You know, when I was growing up as a child, I mean like 5 years, 6 years old, we all played recorder in class. And I look back on that now and think, you know, there were 20 kids all playing recorders at the same time. And not in tune. Concept of tuning, what's that, right? So this sort of beat, right? When you have pitches that are close enough to almost be there, not far enough to be distinct pitches, you hear a beating. So an entire generation of children grew up with this sort of breathy beating. I think it brings culture together, community together. Sing, go to church and sing, or chant, right? I'm starting to belabor the point a little, and it's time to wrap this up for the day, but get a source of vibration in your life, whether it's a piano, or a recorder, or a didgeridoo, or a drum. There you go. That's the lesson for today, my friends. And with that, keep your wits about you.